Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the FatmanStephens podcast. I am Marcus, FatmanStephens, and this is a huge episode. Well, huge for somebody like me who is a wrestling fan. If you are a wrestling fan, you know this is a big weekend for everybody, not just WWE, but also AEW. We are in a huge weekend. I want to say this even rivals WrestleMania weekend in a certain extent because of the everything that's riding on not just WWE, but there's a lot going on in AEW right now. So we're gonna go over the cards for. It's a preview episode of the cards for coming up this weekend for Clash of the Castle, which is in Wales. Also NXT World Collides, which is featuring the UK and the regular NXT going head to head, and of course we will talk about AEW All Out coming on this Sunday. So big, big, big wrestling weekend. I'm so excited. So let's talk about Clash at the Castle first. Clash at the Castle will be the first full event with Triple H involved. SummerSlam was his first pay-per-view where he was head of creative. And obviously some decisions made on the card influenced that. Of course, like Becky turning face and Ronda turning heelish or whatever she did. And then, of course, with Dakota and Io coming back coming to the main roster. That was all Triple H. But this is his first pay-per-view in full control. It's a stacked card. There's really not a bad match on the card. I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit of everything, whether it be a good wrestling match or based on just storyline alone. So let's just talk about the card. 6 matches. There's always room for a 7th match because right now we don't have no Ciampa, we have no Miz, we have no AJ, we have no Dolph. We had no Bobby Lashley, United States Champion. I guess that makes sense because they are in the UK, so I guess that, conspicuous by their absence. There were no tag team titles being defended here. The Raw Women's Champion is in the 6-woman tag match, so I feel like, you're getting. I mean, this looks still on paper. It looks like a really good card. The UK crowd is getting a lot of their favorites represented in like 1, 2, 3 matches. So they have somebody to cheer for if they want to cheer against. Most of them are heels anyway, so it's gonna be a good card. Let's just talk about it. All right, first up, they just announced this on Raw tonight, or when I was recording this. Edge and Rey Mysterio teaming up to face the Judgment Day, and Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Rhea Ripley will be ringside with them. I really thought they were going to do Edge and Beth versus Finn and Rhea at the show because Damien already took a loss to Edge. I really felt that was the direction they were going. But I guess that's not. And this match seems to be on the card. 1, you get Edge on the card. 2, you get Finn Balor on the card. I guess Finn and Edge will wrestle one-on-one eventually. That is a money matchup before Edge retires. This seems like it's setting up for a Dominic heel turn. People have been talking about that for months, talking about Dominic turning on Ray and them having a feud. And I think with Dom being like kind of entranced with Rhea, they kind of like alluded to that on tonight's episode of Raw. He was like, he gave her the kendo stick. So I feel like that may play a key into the match. But is Edge gonna lose his? I mean, he's gonna lose his first premium live event back. Do they continue this feud? Does Edge go his separate way and then like Ray takes care of Dominic? Like, how is it going to go? I just think this ends with Dominic turning heel. I do think the Judgment Day is going to win here. They need the win, especially because they lost to the Mysterios at SummerSlam. So it was basically kind of a rematch anyway. With just Edge at it. They didn't really do too much. That's why I'm really surprised that Beth is not involved in any shape or capacity. Especially after they did the whole Rhea and Beth stare down. So maybe that will be added. Maybe they'll do a 6-person tag or something. But I'm going with Judgment Day to win this match. It should be a good match. Give it 15 minutes. It should be a fun match. All these competitors in the match can go. They're all a little bit older, obviously. But, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. The match that's going to steal the show, without a question, is for the Intercontinental Championship. Is Gunther taking on Sheamus. I mean, I really don't have to say too much. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're a WWE fan right now, and you've seen any bit of these people's work, these two guys' work in the last 2 years, you can see why the wrestling world is really looking forward to this match. This will steal the show. This will be probably the first match of the night. Give it 20 minutes. let them go all out, and watch the star ratings come in for this match. This is going to be nasty. It's going to be physical, and it's going to be a lot of fun as us as wrestling fans to see. And in the crowd, going back and forth between Sheamus and Gunther, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to chops. I'm looking forward to hard knees. I'm looking forward to punches to the face. I'm looking forward to these guys just wrecking each other. As far as a winner, Gunther's been Intercontinental Champion for what, like 60 days, like 2 months. Sheamus is, of course, as we know, hi Chino. Sheamus is, of course, one title win away, one Intercontinental Championship away from becoming a Grand Slam champion. Something that, a lot of other people, a lot of contemporaries, John Cena, The Undertaker cannot say. So to have that feather in his cap, along with being, winning basically everything else in the company, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, King of the Ring, Grand Slam Sheamus sounds good. I think for history's sake, it would be nice to see that. So I am going to pick Sheamus as a favorite to win this match, just because based on based on history and getting that Grand Slam, and I want to see that for Sheamus. I do want to see him win an Intercontinental Championship, so I'm going to go with Sheamus for this one. Do not miss this matchup. Clash of the Castle is centered around 2 matches, and this is one of them. Don't miss this. Next up, we have Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins in a match that was supposed to happen at SummerSlam. I'm happy they put it here, because if it's less, I feel like 3 of these matches on this card can be like 20, 25 minutes. And that's the main event, this match, and the Gunther and Sheamus match. And I think Seth Rollins, now Seth and, walked all on my computer, just walked all over it. I feel like Sheamus and, I feel like Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins are taking it really personal. Now, congratulations to Riddle, he got his first name back. He is back to being Matt Riddle. How awesome is that? But this is going to be a fun match, a fun, entertaining match. In terms of the brutality of Gunther and Sheamus, this is more going to be a technical match. It's definitely going to be a lot more faster motion, a lot more power, a big moves. You're going to see Falcon Arrows. We're going to see the Bro Dare. We're going to be seeing top rope moves, frog splashes. This is going to be really good. Seth doesn't typically win on pay-per-views anymore. The last time I think he won on pay-per-view or premium live event was at Royal Rumble, right? When he won by DQ. So I think Seth needs to win this match. Riddle can rebound, but Seth probably needs to really get the win here. So I'm going with Seth to pull through this match. Big match, 6-woman tag is Bianca Belair, Raw Women's Champion. She's teaming with Alexa Bliss and Asuka, 2 former Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions, former tag team champions as well. This is really a kind of a bomb squad, a dream team. And they're going against Bayley, one of the most decorated women in the whole division, and Dakota Kai and Io Sky. And Chino just walked on my computer again. Why did he do that? Going up against, Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Surprise, Io and Dakota did not win the tag team titles. Now, granted, the winners of the tournament were Aaliyah and Raquel Gonzalez, but high drama. If you watch Raw, Dakota rolled up. Aaliyah rolled up Dakota. Dakota was not the legal participant. So, obviously that's part of the story, and we're probably going to get another match down the line. Obviously, this ends with Bayley's team winning the tag titles. It also could probably just be them arguing, here comes Sasha and Naomi, the rightful champions, right? So, who knows how that's going to go about. But this match doesn't involve the tag team titles now. It is just a grudge match. Bayley, Io, and Dakota have targeted Bianca Belair. Of course, Bayley still has some beef from Bianca, and this is basically just picking up their feud from 2021. Which was kind of, like 2020, 2021, which was Bianca's big come out feud. She walked away with some victories against Bayley leading up to the Royal Rumble. She defended the championship against Bayley. Bayley and Bianca were supposed to wrestle at Money in the Bank 2021 for the Women's Championship, but Bayley got hurt. So this is a year later in the future now, and Bianca's on top of the world. Here comes Bayley with a trio. I feel like Bayley will be the one, probably beat Bianca. I could be wrong. Maybe it'll be Io. Maybe be Dakota. Who knows? But this matchup here, Bayley, Dakota, and Io have to win, especially after taking a loss on Raw. They have to win this match. You could probably pin Alexa, have Bayley pin Alexa. Alexa's here to take the pin. Don't pin Asuka, but I think Alexa's here to take the pin here. But Bayley's group has to win this. And I hope eventually this leads to them holding on the titles, and eventually Sasha and Naomi coming back and kind of feuding with them as well. I hope we get a 6-woman tag between Sasha, Naomi, and Bianca, just because as a black man, representation for that is astounding. The amount of black excellence on that one team, I would love to see that versus Bailey, Dakota, and Io. But I'm going with Bailey. I'm going with Damage Control, if that's their name, to win here. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, Liv Morgan, who was not featured on SmackDown this past week, is taking on Shayna Baszler. Shayna finally getting a one-on-one title match in the first time, and I don't even know how long. Has it been since WrestleMania 2037? Has it been that long that she's been a championship match? That's ridiculous. Getting a shot here. Obviously, in the background is Ronda Rousey. If you don't, spoilers for SmackDown this coming week. SmackDown was, of course, taped ahead of time because they have to go to the UK. But Ronda's suspension is lifted a day before the event, so there's no way she's not going to come out and try to cause havoc and beat them both up, right? You know, is this leading to a Ronda and Shayna team? Because if Ronda and Shayna become a team, just watch out every tag division. Like, they come out for all the tag titles, NXT Women's Tag Titles. Y'all about to get ran. Like, these two women would dominate a tag division. Or is it coming up? Is this leading up to a singles match? You know, I think, you know, everybody's talking about the Liv experiment, and you know, Liv kind of got severely booed after tapping out to Ronda, but pinning Ronda at SummerSlam. In the promo afterwards, she got kind of annihilated. So I don't know how people are fans of Liv. I think Liv needs to stay champion. I think Liv needs to run into Charlotte for her reign to be solidified, or to break her reign. You know, she is the person. She is the, you know, the measuring stick on SmackDown. But as far as Ronda and Shayna, it's just like Liv just cannot match up to these two behemoths. And then you add Charlotte to the mix, because I think that's that. If you get past Shayna, then you probably got to face Ronda one more time, or a mixture of them, and then after that it's going to be Charlotte, the final boss. So it's like this is a tough trio for Liv to kind of overcome. I would put Raquel as the only person who could probably you know, withstand those odds on SmackDown. Maybe Zaya if they build her up enough, but I'm gonna go with Liv Morgan to retain here. I don't know if it's gonna be by DQ, if it's gonna be some shenanigans, but expect Ronda to be in or around this match at some point. The main event is probably the biggest match in WWE this year. It's probably the biggest match in Roman Reigns' 2 years of being Universal Champion, Undisputed Champion. It will be 2 years on Wednesday when this episode comes out that he would have been champion for 2 whole years, a Universal Champion. A reign that will not be broken, I don't think, ever. I don't think we'll ever get to a point where we have a 2-year reign again. Reigns has had just an amazing run so far, especially with the pandemic and everything. But yeah, it's the main event. It's number 1 contender Drew McIntyre taking on Roman Reigns for the Undisputed WWE Championship. Again, literally the biggest match in Roman Reigns' title reign. Yes, he's taken out Rey Mysterio. He's taken out Edge. He's taken out Kevin Owens. He's taken out his cousins. He took out Edge and Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. At WrestleMania. He took out John Cena, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, like 3 different times, right? Crown Jewel, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. He's taken them all out. He's coming out. He's beating all comers. So, I mean, this is just another one. This Drew McIntyre, he's beating Big E and Drew in Champion matches Survivor Series. He's beating Drew at WrestleMania 35. You know, in this title reign, Roman has defeated everybody who has come along. And yeah, you could say Brock Lesnar was probably a big challenge. You know, we didn't think Goldberg was going to be the one. Cena was iffy, but we knew Cena was going to lose. This is the first time in Roman's 2-year reign that I do not know if he'll walk out as champion, and that's a good feeling. Regardless of him being the final boss of, you know, WWE, him being this measuring stick, he is the top guy. You know, Drew wants that spotlight. Drew wants that same thing. Drew was holding the company down during the pandemic while Reigns was, you know, couldn't be around anybody. But then Roman came back, and Roman just kind of took the ball up that Drew was carrying for so long, and just took it away from him. You know, Roman defeated McIntyre at Survivor Series 2020. McIntyre has not forgotten about that. And the main thing about this match that intrigues me is that because, again, they're in the UK, again, the biggest thing I think about as well is Drew McIntyre has not gotten his title win in front of fans just yet. His first championship he won right as the pandemic was happening in front of no crowd. That was taped a week and a half in advance. His second title reign came on live on Raw in the Thunderdome, but again there were no real fans in the arena to really cheer him on. He has not gotten the WrestleMania moment just yet. WrestleMania 37 or 38, he lost to Bobby Lashley, which I thought he was going to win. He get his moment there. He lost. He beats Corbin at WrestleMania the next year. Nobody really cares about that. It's just a kind of a what's it called? Pushing him up to the next level for McIntyre. Now he has a moment in a stadium in his homeland of the United Kingdom for both championships. The moment writes itself. You know, they have not had a show in 30 years. The last time they had a show, the title reign of Bret Hart ended against the British Bulldog. Will history repeat itself? Will Drew McIntyre become the one to finally end the reign of Roman Reigns? You know, this is what we all live for as wrestling fans. A big match like this, a what-if match. Will we finally get the end of Roman in terms of the Tribal Chief? You know, again, Roman is the final boss. Drew has all the advantage though. He's got the hometown advantage. This is his destiny, right? I mean, it just writes itself. But is Roman going to play spoiler? Man, this is the biggest match in WWE right now. The biggest match of the year for them. Give them 25, 30 minutes to tell a story, man. Go all out. Play with the crowd's emotions. Just have a good time with this match, guys. I pick him Drew McIntyre. I think it's time. My dream scenario is that Drew McIntyre wins and comes on Raw a few days later and splits the titles up. You know, he'll take the WWE Championship and hang on Raw while the Universal title goes on SmackDown. Something along the lines where we get both titles split again. I think Drew is the person to do that, and then Roman can probably win the championship back. You know, that's fine, I guess. But we gotta get those titles split, and I think Drew is the guy to do it. Obviously, don't count out Mr. Money in the Bank Austin Theory. He still has a few days. He still has a few days to become the youngest WWE champion of all time. Not the youngest World Heavyweight champion, but the youngest WWE champion. So there is that as well. He could also become the youngest Universal champion as well, right? So I guess I don't know. I guess anything can kind of happen. This is match. It's really a pick'em. It's a pick'em. I'm stuttering, but this is a pick'em. I'm personally just picking Drew McIntyre because that's my guy, and I feel like as somebody who carried the pandemic era, he won the Royal Rumble in front of all those fans, and he was definitely going to win a WrestleMania in front of fans, get his moment, the next guy kind of moment, and he's not gotten that moment. He's not gotten that big WrestleMania, big show moment where it's like Drew McIntyre is the guy. This is the night. Drew McIntyre defeats Roman Reigns to become the undisputed WWE champion, splits up the championships in the future, and we will have 2 world title champions again. That's my prediction for Clash of the Castle. I cannot wait. I'm salivating thinking about this matchup, thinking about this card between Roman and McIntyre, Riddle and Rollins, Gunther and Lewis, and Gunther versus Sheamus. Like, those 3 matches alone are going to sell this show, and I cannot wait. The day after that, though, NXT UK, they're having their own show, Worlds Collide, in the Performance Center. They should have did something in the UK, y'all. I really think I messed up with that one. But they're going to get a show. Now, obviously, the matches are going to be announced as we after I do this. But there's 2 matches that are announced, which is the UK, the Women's Championship is going to be defended in a triple threat. Both titles on the line. Mandy Rose, the NXT Women's Champion, Mako Satomura, NXT UK Women's Champion, and Blair Davenport. I think Toxic Attraction is going to be leaving NXT. I don't think you really need them around anymore. It's now up to who's going to become champion. Is it Mako or is it going to be Blair? Blair is how old? Is she still in her 20s? I'm checking right now. My computer will let me. I feel like Blair is the future. She's 26. Oh, yeah. Give it to Blair. I think Blair's going to win. I like Mako Satomura. I would love to see Mako on the main roster for a little bit. Mako and Asuka. Please, Triple H, please give us Mako and Asuka one time. Mako versus anybody on the main roster, I would like to see. I think we'll get Blair walking out as champion. And of course, the main event is Braun Breaker versus Tyler Bate. Title for title unification match. Whoever loses this match goes to the main roster, right? I think both of these guys are on the precipice of greatness. Tyler Bate, of course, is a little. Hey, Tyler Bate's only 25, dude. Jesus Christ. And Braun's 24, right? Or he just turned 25. I think his birthday's in August. I'm checking now. His birthday's in October. So they're literally at the same point in their careers in terms of in their lives. But Tyler Bate has a little bit more experience, I think, also with Butch or Pete Holder. Hopefully Pete Dunne comes back. I feel like either one of them is ready. I feel like Braun will probably succeed a little bit more on the main roster due to his size, but I also think he needs a little bit more seasoning. So I'm going to go with Braun Breaker to win the titles here, and I will send Tyler Bate to the main roster to have to, put on some bangers with Riddle and Rollins on Raw or whatever like that. Give me Gargano and Bate down the line. Give me Bate and Theory as well. I think between if you put Bate up there, Bate now. I didn't even think about him being a future guy, but now I think he would be a good future star. He has a good look. I don't how tall, how big is he? Not Braun. Braun's 6 foot. I mean, Braun's gonna get pushed to the moon. We already know that. But I think Tyler's 5'8". No, my computer again is just he's 5'7", but he's a strong guy. So I hope that Tyler Bates gets his due. So I'm going with Braun Breaker to win, to unify the championships. Tyler Bates goes to the main roster and does his thing. A few hours after Worlds Collide, we get AEW All Out. This is the third of their 4 AEW pay-per-views this year, and we got a stacked card. Biggest thing though, there's no world title matches. Right now we have 9 matches, but no world title match. Very strange. I've been hearing some rumors, some things, some fan suggestions that could be taking place, but I'll talk about that when we get to it. The big part of this event is that we are getting the trios titles finally. The trios in AEW are amazing. That's one of my favorite things about AEW is the trios, trio matches and all the factions we have, and they put them out off on full blast in this tournament. Well, not on full blast because we didn't get Blackpool Combat Club and a few others, but we got a good amount. But the finals, well, we still have 4 teams left. We have the Elite and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. We have United Empire with Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. We have Dark Order, and we have Best Friends. Realistically, should it come down? You know what? I feel like it should come down to, if you do it for storyline's sake, it should come down to the Elite versus Dark Order. Somebody from the Dark Order can't compete, and Eggman Adam Page fills in, and he goes up against Omega and the Bucks. I feel like that's kind of the story they should go for now. And whoever wins from that has to go up against Cole and his friends, because eventually the big trios match is the Elite versus the Undisputed Elite, or the Undisputed, whatever their name's going to be now. That's the mega match. No offense to Best Friends, or no offense to United Empire. I cannot wait to see Ospreay and Omega lock up for the very first time. I'm salivating again thinking about that. But I think the final should be the Elite, Omega and the Bucks versus Dark Order, whether it be John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and Hangman Page. I think that is the money 6-man matchup. We got another 6-man tag match. This one was a little bit unexpected. We have TNT champion Wardlow and FTR, who are the AAA tag champions. They are Ring of Honor tag champions. They are the IWGP heavyweight tag team champions. And they're going up against a strange team. Now, originally, when this match was announced, it was supposed to be Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt. But Sanjay Dutt this past week on AEW said, I didn't say it was us competing, and we were going to get Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns going up against Wardlow and FTR. So that means FTR and the Motor City Machine Guns are going to be in the same ring competing against each other. Hopefully this leads to a title match for the Ring of Honor tag team titles eventually. I am stoked for this matchup. I'm so excited. I could not be more excited for this matchup now, because I absolutely love the Motor City Machine Guns. I've been watching a lot of Impact this year, because I went to the live show in Philadelphia a few months ago, and I've just been getting really back into it. and I cannot wait for this matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, I didn't give my prediction for the finals. I think Dark Order is going to win the trios titles finally. But in this matchup, I think Jay Lethal and most of those machine guns are going to have like a falling out because most of the machine guns are supposed to be faces, I guess. But this will lead to Wardlow and FTR winning. Unfortunately, Thunder Rosa is injured. Will not be able to compete. So they are doing an interim women's champion. So we got a fatal four-way now. It's Toni Storm, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Jamie Hayter, and Hikaru Shida. So Britt and Hikaru are former champions. So I don't think they're going to win. I think the plan was always for Toni to beat Thunder Rosa. So I'm going to go with Toni Storm winning this matchup. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully they give them 15 minutes of time. So that should be a fun match. They're doing a casino ladder match where the winner gets a number one contendership at the AEW World Championship. I've been hearing people say that the casino ladder match could be like the first match of the show, and then the winner faces Jon Moxley for the World Championship later in the main event. They don't have any participants announced, which I think is, again, kind of strange when your match is like, or sure, your show is like a few days away. That's one thing I want AEW to improve on. I don't know what happened, or what they're thinking. I feel like they should do better at planning their championship matches out for the pay-per-views, because I feel like a lot of these matches on this card got thrown together very last minute. And y'all know about this show for a long time. I just wish that AEW would focus on the big, like all the main matches, like weeks in advance. Like, I will give them credit because when I went to the AEW show in April, that's when they announced Punk and Omega for a month later. Not Punk and Omega, Punk and I can't wait for that. Punk and Page a month later. So I want them to do more of that and not wait till the last minute. So whoever's going to be in this match, we'll see. I can't think of a lot of people who are left off this show. Maybe like Wheeler Yuta, maybe Malachi, maybe Miro. Maybe throw some people in there. We'll see what happens. Big time single matchup: Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. Oh my goodness, this writes itself. I'm looking forward to this match. Jericho put on a really good match with Moxley as Lionheart. I wanted to see him do it again with Danielson. This is going to be a lot of fun. Going with Danielson to win. He's got to avenge the loss from Double or Nothing when he tapped out to Hager and Jericho. Swerve in Your Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland are taking on the Acclaimed for the tag team titles. This is Acclaimed's first pay-per-view title match. I'm a big fan of Swerve in Your Glory. I'd be okay with the Acclaim winning here. I'm really surprised by this tag match, but I feel like the focus of this pay-per-view is at the trios tournament, so the tag team championships can kind of take a back seat because the last two pay-per-views that the tag titles were on the line in triple threat matches, right? I think at Revolution it was Young Bucks, Red Dragon versus Jurassic Express, and then the last pay-per-view was Jurassic Express versus Swerve in Your Glory and Team Taz, Powerhouse, and Ricky Starks. So they're taking kind of a little break. I'm not saying it's not going to be a good match. I do think it would be a fun match, but I don't think this is the biggest tag team match they could have put on, if that makes sense. I'd like to see the Acclaim win, but I'm going with Swerve in Your Glory. Ricky Starks taking on Powerhouse Hobbs in a singles match, a grudge match. Should be fun. I like both guys. Definitely like Powerhouse Hobbs. I love his look. I love his... Now he's back to being a heel, straight up heel. I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes with this. I'm going to go with Powerhouse to win this match to put Ricky Starks down. Jade Cargill and Athena will wrestle for the TBS Championship. This has to be where Jade loses the championship. She's been champion since January. I think it will be a full 8 months by the time All Out comes around. So we got to give the championship off for her. I think the title was going to go on the around the waist of one Chris Statlander, but Chris got injured, so she would come up very close to, when is September 5th? She'll come a day away from 8 months. So yeah, I think it's time for Athena to win the championship. I do still want to see Chris Statlander and Jade Cargill go at it one day, but unfortunately it won't be on Sunday. But Athena, I'm going with Athena to win the championship. The biggest match for for me personally, this is the last match they have announced right now on the card. It's Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage. Huge Jungle Boy mark of the four pillars they used to say. Darby Allin, MJF, whoever he is, Sammy Guevara, and Jungle Boy. Sammy Guevara is probably my favorite in ring wise, but Jungle Boy is my sentimental favorite. I've been a big fan of Jungle Boy ever since. I like Jurassic Express, but ever since he had the match with Omega for the World Championship, I was really been pulling for Jungle Boy since then. And when he won the tag team titles, I had a little tear in my eye because I know he did it for his father, and obviously you guys know that my father's no longer with us. But I shed a little tear because I like Jungle Boy a lot, and I'm getting behind him. And this is his coming out party. It is on the biggest show of the year against one of the veteran talents in professional wrestling. This is a big time matchup for Jungle Boy, and I hopefully he gets enough time, and hopefully he wins. I hope he taps out Christian with the snare trap. Luchasaurus is by his side, and I hope this is a really, really good competitive matchup. I'll take a screwy victory with Luchasaurus involved if we get a rematch and eventually he wins. But Jungle Boy has to have a really good showing here. Christian needs to put him over, and strike the racket to him in a big way. But all right, we're at the 30-minute mark. I've talked about all things wrestling this weekend. It is such a big weekend. I'm so excited. I love professional wrestling weekends like this. I hope everybody watches at least one show. I'm going to watch all three. I'm going to have a good time. I cannot wait. Clash at the Castle for those in the U.S. on the Eastern Coast, 1 p.m. Don't forget, because you don't want to miss Clash at the Castle. Triple H's first fully produced pay-per-view. Do not miss it. Don't miss All Out. Don't miss NXT Worlds Collide. Don't sleep on Worlds Collide. That should be good. Bait and Braun Breaker are going to go out. All Out. I can't wait. But that's all we got. Tell me what you guys are looking forward to in the comments. I'm on all podcast channels. So we're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Deezer, Overcast. Wherever you get your podcast, it's FatmanStephens, all one word, space, podcast. Also on YouTube, if you're looking at the YouTube video, hello. We like, share, subscribe, do all the good things. Again, in the comments, tell me what you're looking forward to most. Do you think Drew's going to win the championship? Is Jungle Boy going to make him tap out Christian Cage? Are we going to get a world title match at All Out? Who's going to face Moxley? Is it going to be Punk? Or are we going to finally get MJF coming back? What do you guys think? Well, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll see you again next week for another episode of the FatmanStephens podcast. Goodbye.